With gas and car prices increasing, buyers are getting concerned. They want an affordable daily driver. They want a car that makes sense and also maybe a vehicle that's going to inspire them to get behind the wheel. Well, believe it or not, in 2026, sedans are back in style. People are looking at Camrys and Accords again, and it seems like manufacturers are starting to take notice. Well, if you're someone who wants practicality, you're not ready to give up the crossover lifestyle just yet, but you also want to save some money, you have the Corolla hatch. Now, I know what you're thinking here. All right, it's an old generation. It's not new like a Honda Civic. It's not up there when it comes to the practicality compared to some rivals out there. But if you're looking for a car coming in below $30,000, this right here might be a great choice. In today's video, we're going to check out what the 2026 Toyota Corolla hatchback has to offer us. We're going to check out the exterior, the interior, take it out for a quick test drive, and see why maybe right now, today, if you're looking to save some money at the pump, but also not looking to break the bank on a new car purchase, maybe taking a look at the new Toyota Corolla might be a great decision. Now, before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout and thank you to AutoFair Toyota here in Tewksbury, Massachusetts for letting come down here to check out the Toyota Corolla. Their link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive Toyota inventory. So as always, let's begin with that pricing. For the 2026 Toyota Corolla hatchback we're taking a look at today, this is the XSE, coming in at just above $27,000. And this will be the top trim for this model year if you exclude the GR Corolla. Now, with the XSE, in my opinion, this is the jack of all trades. This is the well-rounded daily driver for a lot of you looking for a multi-dimensional hatchback or small sedan. Because first off, we know it's going to be economical with that powertrain. We know it's going to be affordable. But then also, with this being a hatchback, it's practical. With the XSE trim, though, now we have an aggressive appearance that kind of looks like a GR Corolla. And for the interior, creature comforts and amenities that I think makes this the ideal point A to point B vehicle. Now, some people might argue, well, this is all skin deep, it's all vanity. I'd rather save some money, go for a lower trim, which would be rather smart right now considering where prices are in 2026. But if you want a car that's going to keep you engaged, that inspires you to get behind the wheel, I think you are going to like the XSE, and it begins with the exterior. So up front, you are going to receive LED headlights with the housings connecting into the center portion of the front fascia with some gloss black trim outlining your Toyota emblem. But you're also going to have fog lights for better visibility at night or in adverse weather conditions, and some color contrasting accents giving us some definition to this car. For me, though, I love the aggressive gloss black grille, and this begins the two-tone look for this car and for our model today. The gloss black grille matching the body lines on the hood, very aggressive, and makes this car, in my opinion, look rather sinister and sports tuned and sports oriented. As you make your way over to the side profile, here we are going to have 18-inch alloy wheels. And I know what you're going to say. All right, 18-inch alloys on a small car like this, that means more road noise and a harsher ride. We'll find out during the test drive. But I will say, though, with the 18s, this car does look a bit more upscale and I think a bit more put together compared to the lower trims. With this being an XSE, you are going to have gloss black side mirror caps with turn signal indicators to go along with blind spot detection for added safety. We also have a gloss black roof giving us that two-tone appearance, and roof rails, roof racks. So if you are maybe going on a road trip, you can store some luggage up here and have a great time with the family or a close friend. Then as you make your way around to the back, it's the final third to me that makes the Toyota Corolla for this generation still look young and youthful. With the sedan, it's kind of getting long in the tooth. It does look rather old, but because this does have the same body lines, the same bumpers, the same look as the GR Corolla, in some ways it still looks rather vibrant and I think really draws your attention for sure, especially for a car like this. You're going to have LED taillights giving you that more upscale appearance to this car, some more gloss black trim for the rear spoiler, and then for the lower portion of the rear bumper, you have the gloss black rear diffuser and the color contrasting accents once again, giving you some symmetry to the overall look of this car. Now, let me know what you think about the Toyota Corolla hatchback. Is this one of the better looking hatchbacks right now in 2026? Because with that Honda Civic hatch, it kind of looks like a sedan, whereas this has that traditional aggressive appearance I know a lot of you most certainly love. But let me know in the comment section below. Also, while we're back here, let's open up the hatch and see what we have in terms of cargo space. So we have all my camera gear here. Apologies for the clutter. You're looking at right around 18 cubic feet of room behind the second row seats. A enough for all my camera gear. So that's 2 bags of camera gear, a gimbal, and a tripod. But best of all, you are going to have some side pockets for some smaller items, maybe a couple water bottles, car detail equipment, or maybe even a first aid kit. Better yet, you are going to receive a spare tire beneath the floor mat. So if you do encounter a flat on those road trips or travels, you can fix that and be back on the road. You can also take that spare tire out, and now you have right around 23.5 cubic feet of room, matching the Honda Civic hatchback. Now also, by going with the hatch for the Toyota Corolla, you are going to have a rear cargo cover, which will keep all your valuable items out of sight. Then of course, you can lower the second row seats to maximize cargo space, but if practicality is a top concern, I would say go with the Toyota Corolla Cross. Taking a peek under the hood for this Toyota Corolla is going to be a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, producing 169 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with a CVT. And since this isn't a GR Corolla, no all-wheel drive. It's just a front-wheel drive model for this model year. But more importantly than what you have in terms of its performance, it's going to be the economical attributes. And this is really going to be the main selling point here out of a small hatch such as this. You're looking at right around 30 miles per gallon in the city and 38 miles per gallon on the highway, which is exceptional here. Yes, it's a naturally aspirated engine, but still, no hybrid powertrain, and we're getting those numbers. So that's going to be great if you are looking to stretch your dollar just a bit more out of a daily driver. And best of all, we have the hatch, so practical. And then as we're going to find out, with that interior, with this being an XSE, will that also impress us? Now, making our way inside the Toyota Corolla hatchback for the XSE, you're going to be greeted by heated Softech seats with fabric inserts for both the driver and passenger, with the driver's side having power adjustability. And this begins the list of incentives to choosing this model over the lower trims, right? We want to have a vehicle that's going to be well equipped, that gives us the creature comforts and amenities, and also makes a great value proposition here at around $30,000. And for me, it begins with these seats. With the Softex upholstery, you know for a fact it's going to be soft, comfortable, and plush. And thankfully it is here for this small car. But with the fabric inserts and the bolstering of these seats, with our model being an XSE, you're going to find yourself nice and snug being behind the wheel on a winding back road or on a weekend getaway. Because this car, even though it's not going to be sports tuned, it has those same attributes here that kind of translate to the GR Corolla. I'm not saying in any way we can compare and contrast, but this car does have a sportier nature to it than the lower trim. So I think you guys are going to be very happy here being behind the wheel. Also, one thing I want to point out too, because we have a power adjustable driver's seat, the accessibility in and out of this car is phenomenal. So if you're someone who doesn't really want to cross over, but you also want a car that's easy to get in and out of, the Corolla is going to be that great choice here in the lineup. Next up is going to be a leather-wrapped steering wheel. That is right, leather wrapped here at this price point, giving you firm 10 and 2 and firm 9 and 3 grips, also paddle shifters to rotate the gears yourself. Also found on the steering wheel will be buttons that helps you control that digital gauge cluster in front of you. Now, we have checked out this display numerous times, so no curveballs, nothing new to talk about. However, if you are new to this model, what you are going to like is that it's very well in depth and it is customizable. You can scroll through your tire pressure monitoring system, your fuel economy statistics, your safety systems, which I think is really cool. I will leave a lot of this on for added assurance and peace of mind when you are dropping off the kids at school or when you are going on a longer road trip. Also from here, and I think this is really awesome considering the price point, you also get adaptive cruise control. So on those longer road trips, you can just sit back, relax, and really enjoy the driving experience that the Corolla has to offer you. Now, as we make our way over to the infotainment system, very familiar software. We have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility out of the XSE, and because we have the top trim, we have the JBL sound system to amplify the audio of your favorite music. Now, for those of you who are new here to the Toyota product line, this software is very easy to get used to and get acclimated with. On the left side of the screen will be quick access icons for your onboard navigation, which you can subscribe to. I would say just use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto with Google Maps or Waze. Then, of course, your radio, your Bluetooth and smartphone connectivity, your vehicle settings, and lastly, your general settings for personal info, Bluetooth devices, general notifications, Wi-Fi. It is all right here. If you're not tech-focused, if you're not technologically inclined, this will be very easy to get acclimated with. It's actually very straightforward, one of the more simple head units in this market. And I like the fact that this same software can be found in, say, a Toyota 4Runner or a Highlander. So it's not like you're missing out on anything here with this screen and by going with a Corolla. Now, one thing you are missing out on, though, is that with this model, you are going to receive a rear backup camera, but no trajectory. The lines will be there, but no trajectory. So definitely take it easy when you are backing out of tight spots or parking on a city street. I would like to see that in a future model year or new generation. Continuing on, beneath the head unit, you are going to find physical buttons and dials. That is right, a tactile and analog experience here for the Corolla, giving you dual zone climate control, but then also the buttons for your AC, front rear defrosters, fan speed, fan direction. It is all right here. Beneath that, you are going to find a wireless phone charging pad to go along with the switches for your 2-level heated front seats. For the center console itself, a drive mode selector for sport, normal, and eco. I'd be in normal most of the time here with this car. Your traction control on and off button, a leather-wrapped shift knob, which is nice, gloss black trim, which we've seen numerous times here out of this generation. You'll have 2 cup holders, and then next to that, your auto vehicle hold and electronic parking brake. For the center storage compartment, enough room for some smaller items. You will have a USB-C and 12-volt outlet, so you can probably store, I'd say, a couple smartphones, wallets, or other tech gadgets. And then to round out the front seating area, above, unfortunately, is not going to be a power moonroof for this model. But hey, at around $30,000, you can't have it all. Now for passengers in the second row, you're looking at right on 30 inches of legroom. And this right here is where I'd say maybe look elsewhere in the product line. Because at $30,000, you could go with the Corolla Cross. You could go with the Prius. You could go with the Camry. So the Corolla hatchback isn't the end-all, be-all here for an affordable daily driver from Toyota. Because at 30 inches of legroom, that is less than a Subaru Impreza. That is less than a Honda Civic hatchback. That is less than a Volkswagen GTI. So it might get pretty cramped in here if you have taller passengers. Now, you can accommodate smaller kids, so it is somewhat family friendly. However, if you have taller passengers, they will be hitting their head on the headliner, so keep all of that in mind. Thankfully, though, with this being the XSE, we have soft touch material once again giving us that comfort, that plushness we are looking for. Also, more importantly, for those of you who do have kids in the back, we have 2 USB-C outlets to charge up those smartphones and laptops and tablets. So really great stuff to see there. And what I really like is that to round out the second row seating area, you do get a center armrest with 2 cup holders. Aside from the intangibles that this car has to offer us, which I think it excels in with the practicality and fuel efficiency, what about the driving characteristics? What about the performance? Am I going to be let down if I'm looking for a daily commuter? Well, let's first start off with what this car isn't. It is not a GR Corolla, so it's not going to be sports tuned. It's not going to break speed records. You're not leaving people in the dust. It's also not going to be a Mazda 3 hatchback. The Mazda 3 is a bit more luxurious for the interior, regardless of trim, and then also with the 6-speed automatic and the optional turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, might be a bit more engaging. But for a car like this coming in below $30,000, it most certainly meets expectations considering this generation is getting up there in age. For one, it's quiet. Surprisingly quiet, even with the 18-inch alloy wheels. Now, yes, with a larger tire size, going over bumps and imperfections, it's a bit stiff, it's a bit firm, and you are going to be feeling them. But when you're commuting around in the city and suburbs, it's quiet. It's an isolating driving experience, which is polar opposite of what I was expecting hopping into this car today. You're also going to have a hatchback that is rather maneuverable. The way in which Toyota tuned this suspension and steering column, you can throw it around. You can handle the corners really well. And best of all, with the XSE, you have the seats to match with that bolstering, with that support, with that comfort. And what you have is kind of a basic daily driver, but that's really all you need to be satisfied. I mean, I think a lot of you are probably looking at the 18 cubic feet of rear cargo space. You're looking at the 30 to 38 miles per gallon in the city and highway. You're looking at the fact you're not spending over $30,000. And those 3 checkpoints right there sells this car automatically. And that if you are seriously looking at buying a Toyota Corolla, this is one of those cars that does do everything well. It's a jack of all trades, like I said before, but a master of none. It's not going to outshine in one category over the other, but it does just enough to be a great choice right now in 2026. Now, for those of you who are going to be questioning, well, what about the Honda Civic Hybrid? What about the Honda Civic? Should I be taking a look at the Honda Civic? Well, for the lower trims, there's really not much of a difference when it comes to the fit and finish. I still think the Honda Civic is the better option here, better platform, better performance with the CVT. And then when you get to the hybrid model, now you're comparing and contrasting with the Prius. And I think the Prius is a great choice right now. If you want to extend the fuel just a little bit more, go with the Prius over the Corolla. But if you want a full gas-powered model, even today in 2026, this car can hold its own. More importantly, though, I think a lot of you are going to like the fact that for the cockpit itself, it's simple. Its simplicity sells itself, where you're going to have physical buttons and dials, this simple infotainment system, digital gauge cluster, and on top of that, you get the amenities by going with the XSE. So, as Toyota has done for many years, many decades, it's the value. It always comes back to the value and what you're getting here for the price. Considering it is a $38,000 car right now in 2026, this would be considered affordable for most buyers right now. And also, I think that over the SE, over the LE, this is the better choice. It's one of those cars where you know its limitations, and you're fine with that. You're completely fine with that. But as we're getting on the highway, let's put it in sport mode. Let's see how this car handles these corners and if we can safely merge onto the highway. Now, surprisingly, in sport mode, there's a meaningful difference with the steering column. The steering stiffens up a bit, gives you a bit more engagement, and throttle response becomes a bit more aggressive. And we're already at highway speeds. Now, obviously, 169 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque out of this 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which is naturally aspirated, by the way, isn't going to leave people behind in the dust. It's not going to be a car that's going to wow you in any way. But it's enough power to get you on the highway and to pass slower drivers safely, and that's really all you could ask for. Now, at highway speeds at around 65 miles an hour, again, I'm not complaining about the interior insulation. Yes, most of the road noise is coming from the tires. I can hear that. It's coming beneath me. But interior insulation-wise, with these windows, I'm not hearing a lot of the outside world. Again, very impressed here, considering this is arguably an econo box. Because it isn't a crossover, it has a nice lower center of gravity, you feel planted to the roadways. And also because we have the safety systems here, we have lane centering and adaptive cruise control. So really, from point A to point B, you can truly relax in this car and really have no care in the world, which I think is exactly what a lot of Toyota Corolla buyers are looking for. No hassles, no gimmicks, nothing that's going to really change your perceptions of what this car has to offer. If you want more, go with the GR Corolla. So for my final thoughts here out of the Corolla, choosing the hatchback is the wiser choice. It adds another dimension that you're just not going to receive out of the sedan. And really what it boils down to is the intangibles. You can't run from them, you can't hide from them. And it's the selling points that really outweigh what you have performance-wise. You know the expectations, you know the limitations out of the Toyota Corolla without the GR badge. But when you factor in what this car is giving you, under 30 grand, the fit and finish, the seats, the comfort, and then also the affordability, the efficiency, and the overall practicality, it becomes a no-brainer. I do think, though, and this isn't really a criticism, I think Toyota knows this, we do need to get a new generation, though. We need a new generation that can go head-to-head with the Honda Civic and to be competitive with the Mazda 3, because this is starting to show its age. You see that with the dashboard, you see that with the infotainment system, you see that with the technology. It is time for a change. But if you are looking for an affordable daily driver, an affordable commuter car, the Corolla is still up there. It has to be up there on your list of considerations, especially when you're taking a look at its overall value proposition. So guys, let me know what you think here about the 2026 Toyota Corolla XSE hatchback. Is this car getting up there in age? Does it need a major refresh to be competitive with the Honda Civic? Let me know in the comment section below. But guys, once again, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you guys next time.